Hello everyone, welcome to the Code Good, and in this part I am going to cover how to resolve the FastAPI errors. As a student, as a developer, whenever I try to learn something or develop something, usually I get the errors. Even when I'm following all the things step by steps, but still I get the errors. And as a solution, I usually try to go into the browser and search for the solution and directly paste that solution into my application. But that's not a correct way. We should know all the things, whatever we are doing inside our application, so that we can make our application more secure. So for that only, in this part, I'm going to cover the basic errors which you will get or you will might get when you are developing your fast API application. So let's see what are the parts which we are going to cover, like what are the errors which we are going to cover in this part. So we are going to cover this no error in response window, but still failing. Actually, it's not like there will be no error, but from that response, it will be impossible to filter out that what the particular error is and why the error is not coming at the response. That thing we will see as a practical and we are going to resolve that. Then after we are going to cover this missing greenlet issue. It is a very classic issue of SQLAlchemy and we are going to resolve that too. After that, this no relation found. Even following all the things steps by steps, there are some syntax issue which can create this no relation found, and we are going to cover that. And after, and not after, while resolving these all things, there will be few points which I can only explain to you while there is some error. So those points should be noted at your notepad or at your mind when we are correcting those things. So let's start. So here is my code and here is my terminal. For your reference, we are using the code base which we developed over the part 7a and 7b. If you are new to FastAPI or if you want to get the context of this particular code base, I will recommend you to watch this part 7a and 7b, or you can directly go to my GitHub account, and inside the GitHub project you will find the complete code. So here we have we are developing one project for the e-commerce website, and this e-commerce website contains four crucial parts. Those are user, category, product, and review. So for each product, there will be one category. Currently, we are not going to work with the user and review because for the user, I have one dedicated session, which is part 10. So we are going to work with the product and category. So coming to this product and category, let's go to our models. Where is our models? So here is our models.py. Inside this models.py, I have created four models, one for user, one for category, one for product, one for review, using SQLModel. The main thing which we are using here is SQLModel. So let's start our server and try to resolve these all errors. I intentionally left some errors inside this code while developing or through the session. Anyhow, the correct code is already present inside the GitHub project. So we can start working on it and we will see the errors which we need to resolve. So we are going to start our project. Okay, so the project has started, and what we will do is we will create the category first. And after creating the category, we are going to create the products as well related to that category. So let's come to our Postman, and to know like what API should we use, we are going to the main.py, and from the main.py we will see, okay, for this category I have created one endpoint, this API v1 categories, and inside this API directory I have created this category.py where I created the actual APIs related to category section, and this category API is using the CRUD from the CRUD directory. This CRUD is create, read, update, delete using the SQL queries. Okay, so we have all the summary right now. So let's start working on our errors. So here I have this, and for to create a category, let's go to the model. Where is the model? Models.py, Here in the category, if I see, there are two things which we need to create one category. That is, one is ID and the second thing is name. This ID is created by the Python, but this name we should provide. So let's give some name and let's see what it will return. Okay, so here it is. I have already provided this API end path. I am using the post request and I provided the payload as well. Okay, so I will hit the send button and I will get this internal server error. Okay, so let's go to our terminal and see why it is happening. This SQLAlchemy exec invalid request mapper category has no property product. Okay, from this mapper category has no property product. It is showing something related to the relation between the product model and category model. So we will go directly to the models.py. We are getting this error because while doing the operation, first it will check the models, it will check the relations, then it will do the operation. So before doing the operation, it failed at the model stage. So here we have this category model and product model. Let's focus on it. And from the error, it is saying it has no property product. So we will see this category is related to the product at this line. Sorry, this product table. This category is related to the product table from this line, and category is related to the product from this line. Here I have this products, but here I have this product. Okay, so I created one error. Whenever I'm going to create a relation, I should take care of this, that whatever the relation name I'm providing, I should use the same. So here if I'm using products, then I should use the products here as well. And let's see for the category if it is fine. Okay, category is fine. Then I guess there should be no error with this kind of syntax. Okay, so our application is already restarted. Let's save it again and we are going to do the operation again. Again, the internal server error. So from the internal server error, again I am seeing this mapper review has no property product. So it is the similar, it is different, it is a similar error with the different table name. So I get it, like, okay, earlier this was the issue with the category. It is the same issue with the review as well. Anyhow, every product will have multiple of reviews. So if I go here, I have this products with review and reviews with product. See, so what I have to do is I need to just make it more equal. Okay, so I have corrected the syntax. See, I'm not going to cover like one by one error. We are going to cover all those errors which we described at the introduction, but in a zip zap way, or you can say in a jumbled way. So okay, it is corrected again. Now let's go to our application startup completed. Let's try to send it again. Again internal server error. Okay, so let's see what it will tell us. Okay, we are getting the same with the user and review. Okay, so we will go to the user and reviews user. What is here? User with review. Okay, I need to use the reviews. So if I'm using reviews here, then reviews must be here. Okay, so now it is corrected. So if I come to my slide, this no relation found for the DB table, I was referring this. Whenever there is a relation issue, even with the syntax, it will throw something like this. So you must take care about the uh, keywords when you are describing the relations between the table. Okay, we resolved this one. Let's go to our UVCon. Okay, it is running. Let's try to send it again. Again, internal server error. Let's see why. Runtime, no active exception to raise. See, this is the error which I was talking about in the no error in response window, but still failing. Why we get this? Why we got this? Sorry, why we got this? Coming This runtime error, from where it is coming? It is coming from our session. And what particular thing is returning our session? That is our engine. The engine which we created inside our db.py, which is the core of our application. Coming to this db.py, if I go to this if I go to this get session method, I can see there is one try, there is one except, and there is one finally. But there is a one issue in it. Actually, I used this code particularly because this code was present somehow in Stack Overflow, and I found it amazing, like why people were upvoting it. So that's why I put it here, and I tried, because I do not want you to just copy paste everything whatever you are getting from the internet. You should understand the functionality also. At the positive run, it is a good case, but in a negative run, it will hide your errors. And how? I will explain you. Coming to this method, if I see there is one try, okay, try is fine. We should handle everything in a try except block. So whenever anything goes wrong inside the try, it will go to the exception. Okay, it went to the exception. It must went to the exception when it went wrong. So if I can see here, it did the rollback. Okay, that's also fine. But inside the finally, we see the raise is here. Even though there is something went wrong inside the try block, which was captured inside the except, but it was not transferred to the finally block. And when it coming to the raise, it just raised the empty. There was no exception. So it is not the correct way to handle your get session method. So what is the correct way? So what we are going to do, we are going to remove this finally from here. Okay. And there is one more thing, this await session close. Then you will see if I'm going to remove this finally, then how it will close the session. Anyhow, we are using this session with the with, this with keyword. Whenever the session will come out from this with, it will get automatically closed. So this particular part is redundant. It is not of any use. So what we are going to do is we are going to remove this finally part. Okay, we have this finally right now. Fine, that's fine. And what we will do here is we will leave this rollback as it is, and we will put our raise here. Okay, so as per the functionality, if anything goes wrong with the try block, it will raise the exception from the raise keyword. Okay, so let's try it again. We will up our server, and we are going to hit the request in the postman. So let's say here we had this t-shirt. Before hitting this t-shirt, we need to verify whether the earlier post request worked or not. So for that, we will go to our database, and what we will do, we will try to run one query to our framework, or sorry, to our database. So what I will do is select star from category. Okay, it should return all the data which is present inside of it. So it have this t-shirt and ball. See, it was able to insert the data, but because of that raise inside this inside of this finally block, it was unable to provide us the clear example, like the clear explanation that what happened behind the curtains. So what we are expecting with the some other category, we are going to run with the game. Let's create a category game, and let's hit a post request. Okay, it created. We are able to successfully hit our post request on category with our existing development. And let's try to check it here again. Yes, we have this game category with the ID 5. So our post request is working as expected. Let's check our get requests as well. So where is our get request? First, we need to check like what get operation we wrote inside our CRUD, or sorry, inside our category API. So inside the API, we will go to the category API. We created the post request. It is running fine. Coming to this get, we have created two type of get request. One get request, it will fetch all the categories. And in the second get request, when we provide the category ID, it should fetch out that particular data related to that category ID. So first we will try with the category ID. So what are the category IDs we have? We have this 5, 4 and 2. So we will try with the 5. Okay, let's go to the get. After the categories, let's put 5 and do the send. Oh, we got the internal server error. So let's investigate why we are getting this internal server error in get request. But in my post request, it was executing perfectly fine. So what was the error? So if I go to my terminal where my app is running, I can see this async session object has no attribute exec. So let's investigate. This particular operation from where I am getting the data, it's happening inside my CRUD. And for the CRUD, I created a separate directory. Inside this separate directory, I have this CRUD underscore category.py. So if I go here in the CRUD underscore category.py, what I will see, I was trying to execute this get category by ID through my API. And here, this particular statement is failing. But why? But why we are getting this error when this exec is perfectly called from the session? So let's investigate why it is happening. The first thing, this exec is the method which is called from the session, and this session we are importing from the SQL model. Okay, this is perfectly fine. But the particular session which we are generating from our db.py, our main engine, let's see what session we are calling there. We are calling SQLAlchemy. Again, I'm going back to CRUD underscore category. If I go here, this session is of object type async session, and this async session object is from the SQL model. And in the engine which we have created, this async session is from the SQLAlchemy. So here is the main catch. What is the catch? This SQLAlchemy provide you this session.execute, and the SQL model provides you session.exec. So what we are trying to do here in the CRUD category, that we are trying to use the SQL model, but the session which we are inheriting from our db.py is basically from the SQLAlchemy. So this is the main issue because of which we are facing the error. So what we are going to do, we are just going to convert it to SQL model. Okay, we created a SQL model. Now this async session which is creating our session factory is created through the SQL model. Now this part and this CRUD underscore category async session and the session which is using its this async session as its type are in same page. So we changed this in db.py. Let's save it and let's go back to our UV Okay, our application is running fine. So we will go back to our postman and we will try to hit the get request. Okay, let's see what it will give to us. And yes, even though, okay, let's try with the single one for which we are doing the operation. So if I do the 5, yes, it is returning me. And if I do the get request for all the categories, what it will do, it will give me the complete list of data which is available there. So it's working perfectly fine. It's perfect. Now we can move into our product. Now category is created, and now second part comes where the product comes into the picture. Now we have to associate our product with the category. So again, to see the APIs, whatever the APIs we have created, what you have to do is, if you are not familiar with the code, all you have to do is this particular URL which your FastAPI provided, just go there and type docs after it. it will provide you the complete APIs which you have created for your framework or for your application. So here, if I go for the product, I have this one get request, one post request, and again get request. This get request is to get all the product which I have in my database, and this get request is for that product for which I am querying specifically with the product ID. So what I will do, I will try to hit a post request first because I want to create some record into my database. So what I will do is I will take this API v1 and products. Okay, let's take it. This API v1 and products. Let's go back again to our documentation, which is generated by our framework. This FastAPI, it is really good. And if I come here, what it asks us to provide the category ID, price, description, and name. Okay, we will copy this example and we will come here. We will go to the body. And what we will do is we will provide it here. Okay, the game ID which we have latest created is of 5, and what I will provide name is Max Payne. Okay, it's a good game. Description, it's a good game. And inside, let's make its price $10. Okay, 10.00, more specific as a float. Now let's try to hit the post request. Let's see what it will return. Again, the internal server error. Now let's see why it is happening. So here we can see this error, this type get attribute error for the location, response, comma category, and message is error extracting attribute missing Greenlet. So this is the main error which most of the people get when they are developing this FastAPI. And this particular error we are getting for what? This category response and for this reviews response. So I'm getting like these two fields are providing this error, but let's see like why only these two fields are providing this error. So for that we are going to the models.py. Inside the models.py, if I say this category and reviews, they both are in relationship, and the other fields are in the main table. So from here I can conclude this category and reviews, they are both are of relationship, and this relationship field is creating me something called error. And but why it is happening? So there is very simple concept of FastAPI, that is lazy loading. And what this lazy loading do is it try to execute all the things at once, like all the required things at once. And if I go to my CRUD operation, this CRUD product.py, here what I will see here is this create product. My post API is calling this method, and this is the one method which is creating a record inside of it. But which specific line is producing this error? It is this refresh. So what is happening is this particular DB product, it is validating the model. Okay, it got all the data which is required by the models.py. That is fine. It executed. Then what it will do? It will do the session.add. It means it will add this particular query into the session, and then it will commit it. So from this particular section, I can assume that whatever the request I have initiated, it must did the commit operation. So for that, let's check into our database. So this is my PG admin, and what I will do is I will run the query tool to check whether this particular entry executed or not. So I will do this select star from product. Is it product or products? It is product. Okay, fine. So let's check with the execution. And Max Payne, yes, this particular entry is there. It means the commit operation was successful. But this refresh was the one which is the culprit. So why it is giving me this error? This is a very simple and basic rule. See, this SQL model or this FastAPI create the environment of asynchronous using this await and async. And coming to this SQLAlchemy, the SQLAlchemy work in a synchronous way. So what is happening at the backend is this FastAPI is running this query to create the object. That is fine, but in this in this, if I go to the refresh, like after the commit, the connection got closed, and when it is running the session dot refresh, what happened is your session got closed and it is trying to fetch the relation from the product and reviews, but the session is closed. So because of that, it is generating this greenlet error. Your system is creating a synchronous request into a asynchronous environment. So for this, when you have some relations in your models.py, what you have to do is you need to create a bridge for your queries. That bridge will work between your synchronous query into the asynchronous environment. So what we have to do is we need to provide one special mechanism which is called as eager loading. Why this eager loading is required? Because what we will do is we will fetch the relationship first, then we will execute the query. So in this way, our session will be active for all the operation and it will return me the exact data which I want. So what I will do here is I will add one eager loading mechanism from the SQLAlchemy. From SQLAlchemy import from SQLAlchemy, from orm import select in load. Okay, so this particular thing, what it will do is it will fetch the operations simultaneously with the query which you are executing. It will do the n+1 operation. What is this n+1 operation? Let's say you are doing the get request. You are creating something and you are getting it. So while getting it, let's say you are fetching 100 products. So what it will do is it will run one query for the 100 products. It will fetch out all the 100 products in a single query. And then what it will do, it will run one by one for each of the product to fetch the category and review. So in this way, what it will do, like fetching all the thing at once, which will slow down your application. It will do this thing to optimize your execution. So that's a very backend thing. Just you need to understand that whenever this greenlet will come, what is happening at the backend is there is some miscommunication between your SQL query and your FastAPI environment. So for that, you need to create a bridge, and that bridge is select and load in this case. So what I will do here is after this session.commit and this session.refresh, before returning this DB product, I will use this statement, let's say any variable. Okay, so this is completed. What I did here is I just created one eager loading. What it will do is it will go and it will commit, and after this it will wait for the refresh. When it is going to return, before going to return, what it will do is it will fetch the relation of the review and category, and then it will do the eager loading, and then it will close the session, and then it will return the one query. That why one query? Because we are creating one record at a time, so that's why I'm returning that dot one. So whatever the one statement which it will return, it will giving it back to me. So this is the one which I did. So let's try it. Okay, it is updated here. Let's check our UVCon. It is fine. Now in our Postman, I will use some other. Okay, I will use some other. Let's say war and do the send. Okay, it executed perfectly. Now I got this 201 created, and this particular section is also updated there, and it also fetched the category and review object as well. So in the next time when someone is going to write the review and you are going to fetch this particular record from your database, it will provide you reviews as well, the category as well, and it will enhance your details description. So what I will do here is I will check in the backend also in the database. Okay, so I got this war and it's a good game. So yes, we are safe right now with the post request. Now let's do the get. So to the get, what I will do here is I will come here and see what the get request I can use. I can use this V1 products to get all the products, and also I can use this V1 products product ID to get particular product detail. So first I will use this get all product list. I will come here, I will I will come here, I will change it to the get, and let's try to run it. Send internal server error. Let's check out why. For this internal server error, I am getting this review category, review category, review category. Same type of error. Like if you can see here, I am getting this missing greenlet. So for our post request, we fixed this particular error, but for the get, we didn't do anything. So we are going to do the same operation, this eager loading one, into our get requests as well. So here, okay, what I will do here is I will just write the statement again. So here I have this select. I will do this. Okay, so we have this particular thing to our get requests as well for to get all the product and to get product by ID. So let's check first the get request with all the product. So here I have this get setup, and I will do the, before going to do that, let's check our UV count whether our app is running or not. Okay, it has started successfully. So we will do the send request, and yes, it's good, it's good. We got all the data which is available into our database from the data table, and see, you can see all of this. Like I have these 4 entries there, and I got all the 4 results. So now let's check with the single ID. So here I have this devil, and I will check with the ID 6. So in place of product, let's do the 6. Okay, so yes, I got one response. So our APIs are working perfectly fine, and this is it for this particular part. I know that these all things are not very structured, but while we are getting errors, these all things happened in so random way, and this is the exact explanation like how we can resolve all the errors in our FastAPI backend server. So if you like it, then please comment it and let me know like at which part you are getting error while your development, so that I can help you in your part of development. So that's it, and thank you.